Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching right around the world. It is time for round 3 of this Shakedown presents GamerGearDirect LifeLine Sprint Series. Like I said, round 3 here at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. And variable weather here this evening. You can see the cars already out onto the circuit. And we are coming up to a 15-minute qualifying session, followed by a 45-minute race with one compulsory pit stop for tyres, a 20-minute pit window, and a short formation lap. As I welcome the Godfather, the creator, the all-powerful one who brings this series to us and does an amazing job while he's at it, Cameron Chuck Norris. And very good evening to you. I'm back. I had the week off last week, but back this week, Cam, off of my death bed, and my status has been upgraded to very much alive here tonight, and we're looking forward to some action here at Spa.
Yeah, it's honestly going to be a really good night tonight. I'm looking forward to this. You know, there is some very, very competitive times out here. You know, we've got, you know, the top 24 people under, basically, or in the 20s. You know, quickest time 16, so not far away from qualifying. This is going to get spicy.
As we are just looking at the results, of course, we were at Imola last week, and it was Matthew Spinazzi taking a victory there ahead of Jeremy Zeri, I think, in the Porsche 992 GT3. Then it was Johnny Sinekis on the podium there. Johnny Sinekis, Tom Maloney, and Chris Cooley. Cooley Mango, then Matt Glow, Rob Maddox, Pete Viney in 8th it was, Matt Herod in 9th, and Macbeth there in 10th. And still another great turnout around this circuit here. Like we said, Chuck Norris, a variable weather conditions, so that is always going to keep things nice and spicy.
Yeah, these variable weather conditions definitely do like to shake things up, and you know, we took a couple of steps on the server to kind of ease the rain off a little bit, because you know, it was raining way more than what it was you know, being variable. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these conditions end up shaking up tonight.
It's going to be very interesting to see how these conditions will affect the drivers tonight. We heard the Nigerian Prince talking about 2:16s, Prince, and we saw the end of free practice 2 there. And it was Matthew Spinazzi, last week's winner at the Circuit di Enzo Ferrari, Autodromo Ferrari there, and he's gone very quickly there in free practice 2 as we get underway, and you can see the drivers, they're all looking to get out onto the circuit straight away here and make the most of these conditions here, Prince. Almost everybody coming out straight away.
Yeah, there's a lot of people coming out, so dry conditions for qualifying to kick us off, so it's interesting. I was kind of, you know, looking forward to a little bit of rain here, you know, typical Spa things, but no, I'm looking forward to this. Dry conditions for qualifying, so we might end up seeing those 16s.
Let's just wait and see as we see the drivers coming out on to the circuit to get ready for their first runs here in qualifying. And I've got to say, it's not the Breakfast Club man, but Wilco there saying the rain is good, which is interesting, always spicing things up. And it's almost a microclimate around this circuit, isn't it, Cam, all of its own? It can be raining at one end of the circuit and then not raining at the other, so it makes it very difficult which way, in terms of strategy, tyre strategy, on which way to go, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So plenty of strategy to come into this one. You know, they've got a 45-minute race ahead of them, but first we've got to get through this qualifying. So a 20-minute pit window, though, for the race is bound to shake things up. You know, you've got that 20 minutes to come in and get that tyre stop done. But yeah, these drivers just trying to find their room on the track at the moment to get a qualifying lap in.
As we take a look here, like we said, qualifying just 15 minutes. So you've got to get out and get amongst it very quickly. As say hello to my almost home track. And I think this might be our man Ricardo, latest follower of the channel, by the way, Prince, if you don't mind. And then Wilco says, hi, co-op partner. And he's gone with a little inside joke from our co-op series. Yuki, where the community benefits. And that's paying homage to the famous Richie's IGA stores back in the early 2000s. as I'm just going off a little bit there, but here we are in qualifying, 8:02 p.m. local time. So these track conditions are probably optimum. In fact, they are optimum, as you can see in the top right-hand corner of your screen. And it's going to be very interesting to see who is going to be speedy in this one here, Cam. But it's going to be a Spinazzi show. I'm going to be very surprised if it's not a complete Spinazzi off. Spinazzi off here tonight. 216s, very pacey there in practice.
Yeah, the 216s were very, very quick, and there was a lot of drivers in that low 17s as well. So, you know, all our drivers, you know, whether you've been thrown into Pro, Pro-Am, or Am, everyone is very, very competitive here.
It's going to be very, very close. 15-minute qualifying session, and we've already gone 3 minutes so far in the session, of course. Round 3 of this championship. The GamerGearDirect LifeLine Sprint Series. It is charity month as well, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind. And if you're looking at the chat, there are links in there to make a donation to Lifeline. And I was going to ask Prince, what is the tally at the moment? I know it was north of 550, was it, last time I checked?
Yeah, so far we've raised $545 for Lifeline in mental health and suicide prevention. So if you would like to make a donation, we do have the link pinned in the chat. And like I say, we'd love to have you involved in the charity month.
As Jason there joining the action there. And I wonder what he's up to on a Tuesday night down there at Carrum Downs. Big Shep, his partner in crime there. Leaving him an interesting voice message as we take a look at Nicholas Macbeth here. Great to get an insight, isn't it, of this part of the circuit as we head down to Stavelot there. Very easy to get it wrong here, and always a challenge as well, Prince, because that sun can be right in your eye line. I know we like to talk about the weather conditions as we take a look at our man here coming across the start-finish line. And Mel Gibson, thank you very much. Mel Gibson says hi. We're getting everybody amongst it in the chat. And he just hopes Jesus and his partner who betrayed him, or portrayed him, as I thought he said, won't enter the chat tonight. Thank you, Wilco. And how good's this chap? Is this Ricardo? I should have signed up as a quest rider for today, as he really loves this track. Is it too late, Prince?
It's not too late, Ricardo. You're more than welcome to sign up. We won't be able to drag you in for tonight, but if you would like to sign up, definitely be sure to head over to the sim grid, find Shakedown, and be sure to register for the series. We'd love to have you a part of it.
As we take a look now at these times, you can see these times are starting to tumble, and Abdul has entered the chat. He says, I've bailed. He's bailed. I got in, did like 4 or 5 laps. Undrivable. Should have practiced the stock aggressive. Is a mess here. Should have made my own. And I think he's referring to the setup there, Prince. Unfortunate, because Abdul, one of the good guys and friends of both of our channels there, it's seeming like he's not happy with things the way they are at the moment with his car.
Yeah, no, definitely not. It's one of those ones, you know, he's driving the old faithful, the Bentley. So, you know, there aren't really too many setups going around for that car now. But, yeah, it's unfortunate that the default setups aren't quite where you need them.
As you can see, Abdul, he's saying his options were 45 minutes of drifting, doing 22s or 23s, or pushing too hard and shiting bricks. Scheisenhausen doing 21s and stacking. Very much fun in the Bentley. Don't forget, like I said, make a donation to Lifeline. Big charity month as we're riding on board with the convoy himself coming around the bus stop chicane. And we seem to have a yellow flag out. I think that might have cleared itself now. All green from what I'm seeing. And this man, a 217, Prince, get this, a 217.005. Not quite what we were expecting. Here we were seeing 216s in practice, but my goodness, it's tight at the top here. Less than a tenth, and now we've got 2 drivers. We've got the Kebab and the Senecas, both even here, second and third, with a 217.097, nothing between them. We see it so often, don't we? Both drivers setting identical times, Prince.
Yeah, it's very interesting, you know. We've seen so much of it this season where drivers are putting in exactly the same time. So Mr. Bab, though, I do want to give him some credit. He was about 5 tenths up before he overshot the bus stop. So he would have been well clear into the 16. So, you know, he'll be looking for another good run as these drivers will be. And hopefully they'll be throwing themselves up to the podium position.
And looking at Lee Perkins there, and now we're riding on board. Here's the man who is simply here for the memes, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Keck. And Cooley, that's not Cooley Mango Sauce, as we see the driver there coming out of the pit lane down the Camel Straight. And Ricardo says, I'm fine, Prince, watching today, but happily we'll do a big enduro with the Prince soon. And I think you were looking for somebody to put their hand up as a partner in crime for one of your enduros coming up, I think, Prince.
Yeah, there's a 24-hour Le Mans on next weekend, and I haven't done a 24-hour race in a while, so I've been getting that itch. So, yeah, I'm looking for a couple of drivers. Oh, Mr. McDonald getting a little bit sideways there.
And, wow, a little bit sideways there through the corner with no name, as we are looking at the 77 Mercedes. Beautiful looking interior of this car. And what better view to go up Eau Rouge. Look at that. And you need a big set of cojones there. A little bit, I wouldn't say that was a corner cut there, Prince, but using every bit of the track that is available to these drivers. And I've got to say, how close is it? We've got Convoy P1 with a 217.005, and then we've got identical times in P2 and P3 for the Senecas, as Convoy has brought out a flag. I think he stopped on the circuit. No, he's back in the pit lane now. As we look at a number which is one of your favourites, Prince, the 666 car, as we can see the 666 entry there from the Bab. He just needs to find something, doesn't he, to go with that tiny bit quicker, and he has 216.715. Perfect timing, Prince, as K-Bab goes to the top of the timing sheets with only 5 minutes left in this session.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I was watching the time from Mr. Bab earlier. I knew he could get clean into the 16, so it's interesting these guys are starting to find the time. So some drivers opting to go back to pit lane to maybe get a fresh set of boots, maybe to go for their final run here.
As we see car number 69, the Alpha Tauri car. And Alpha Tauri black, in fact, inside the cockpit here of this Lamborghini. Only one of one Lamborghinis in the field tonight. A little bit rare, in fact. They're a rare species, Prince, as we see him come around the circuit, riding on board with him at the moment. 3.5 seconds off of the provisional pole time, and down there in 20th, so it's going to be interesting to see where he can finish here tonight. And I'm just trying to see last week where he finished, but we'll get back to that in a moment. But just 4.5 minutes remaining, Prince, and you can see in the top right-hand corner of your screen, it is a hectic track map there, Prince, so it's going to be all about finding space for their final runs here in qualifying.
Yeah, exactly. Having that little bit of a gap, you know, but you also want to try and make sure that you can capitalize on a little bit of tow and draft over the course of the session. So, you know, they're a little bit grouped up, but I'm hoping that all our drivers can get a good time in.
As we take a look now at the timing screens, the times are going to start tumbling. We've only got one man in the 216s at the moment, Michael Babb in the 666 Ferrari 296 GT3 car, and he's currently a 10th. Oh, hello, we've got Mr. Glow. We've got Matty Glow now in the 216s, Prince, exactly 1/10 behind our pole position man, as we see the Lambo pull off to the side of the circuit there. But 3.5 minutes, what can we expect to see? Who have we got on some hot runs here? We've got Murphy there with the quickest first sector, and the pressure really starts to build, doesn't it, Prince? Not that I'm personally a qualifying man myself, as you saw last night, as we take a look at Peter Viney through the final part of the lap. And he's down in P20, make that P21 at the moment, 21st position. as he comes around the bus stop chicane. We can see whether he can improve his time. I think he might be on a hot lap, Prince. I'm not too sure. We'll have a look here. He might be starting his final run as he comes across up to P18. So a slight improvement there for him, as we've got a yellow flag out. I think it might be Bradley who's brought out a yellow flag for something, but he's back in the pit lane at the moment. So all to play for here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got our top two currently in the pits. And then we've got a few other drivers, most of the drivers out on the circuit, getting ready for one final run here, Prince. We've only got 2 minutes remaining in qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely not long to go. So Mr. Perkins throws himself up to P17. He did lose a couple of tenths there from overshooting the bus stop, but hopefully he can get this last run in and get that bus stop aced.
He's got some traffic up ahead of him. I don't think that's going to cause too many issues. As we take a look now at the number 11, that looks like Tom McDonald. I think it's Tom McDonald as we come through down to turn 1 here. Always important to get your markers right there. Coming through to complete this lap. It's going to be interesting to see whether our top two are going to come out for a final run. I think it might be too late. I think that might be all she wrote.
Yeah.
For the Kebab Man and Mr. Glow in first and second. So it's really from third down, isn't it, to see who can snatch that pole position potentially.
Yeah, exactly. There's not much time left in this session. So these drivers, I do see a couple of drivers do have a couple of gains on their times, you know, and they're trying to itch themselves ever closer to the front row of the grid. So I think we're going to start seeing, there's not many drivers, I think, that are going to get one more lap. So I'm looking forward to seeing who is going to probably take Mr. Bab.
Let's wait and see. With less than a minute to go in qualifying. Do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because we have got an absolute cracking race here coming up for round 3 of this championship. Don't be shy. Get those comments coming in, as there's a yellow flag out there for something. I think that's cleared itself now. Thank you very much. As I think we might have the Senecas man on a very good lap here, I believe, as well. Prince, looking at the delta, he's almost 4 tenths up here, so this is going to shake things up at the end of this one.
Yeah, exactly. This could put him onto pole position, and, you know, it's his last opportunity. So if he messes up the bus stop, this is going to keep him in P5 provisionally.
Riding on board with Johnny Senecas. Here he comes through the bus stop for the final time. Just trying to get that thing slowed down there. Don't want to pinch a brake or something through the final corner. He's currently up. Is it going to be good enough for pole position? He comes across the line. Oh. It's only good enough for P2, Prince.
Oh, that is so close.
That is closer than the shavings of wood shavings, as we're going to see. I think we've got Spinazzi up as well. Mr. Spinazzi, as we take a look at the AlphaTauri black car coming through to complete the lap. We're going to see where this will put him. He's down in P21 at the moment. And can he jump a few positions up? He's got a couple of tenths there to get inside the top 20, and he's done it now, up into P16. Taking a look across the line, only good enough for P9 for the 667 shakedown car. Who else have we got on a good lap here, Prince? We've got coming up Conboy through the final corner here. He's up by a couple of tenths, and that's all he might need, I think. Here he comes across the line. Is this going to be good enough? Here he comes. It's not quite good enough. I don't think he's going to improve this time around, but it is all about the Spinazzi. Here we go. If my voice can hold out through the bus stop for the final time. He's 5. I reckon this is going to be pole position. I'm going to call it early, Prince. Here he comes across the line. He's looking for a 2:16.715, and he's done it.
Wowee.
A 2:16.677, as we've got Mr. Maddox up by a couple of tenths, but he's 1.1 currently off of provisional pole position. He comes across the line. I think he's going to stay in P12, but my goodness me, what a frantic and fantastic finish to that qualifying session. And my goodness me, it is Spinazzi taking pole position. Look how close it is at the top. Barely a tenth between that top three, and this is going to set things up beautifully for the race, Prince.
Yeah, absolutely. There is absolutely nothing between these guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can produce during the race. And the 2/10 though between those top five, this is going to stack up to be an amazing race, I think.
This is going to be absolutely fantastic. That is qualifying done and dusted as we can go on a drone tour here at Spa. This thing gets me every darn tootin' time. How beautiful does this look as we go through the grid order then? Spinazzi, Sinekis, and then it's Mr. Glow. And go a bit quicker, would you, Prince? Can we speed things up a little bit here? And look at this. Down the middle of this grid, there's Mr. Glow, and then it's Mr. Maloney in the 57 car, the McLaren. We've got a bit of a McLaren thing happening here. And then it's the beautiful looking livery on that McLaren. And then we've got the man who's here for the memes. And look at that. And that's what happens. That's how life can get sometimes if you're not following Voodoo or my channel. And the shakedown livery, nice and simple. Did you have a part to play in designing that one, Prince? I'm not too sure, but as we keep walking down the grid, not too many people to talk to on this grid, I must admit, my princely partner, because it's very quiet indeed. And no need to doorstop anyone or try and interview some celebrities, because there are simply none on this grid as we get down into the 165 Ferrari, right into the eyeballs. Look at that for access, right into the Bub Now car, right inside his cranium there. Not a little bit strange. They're not seeing really any resemblance of a human being inside that car, which really does beg the question, are we living in some type of simulation or some type of Matrix type setup? And I've dug a hole for myself, and I'm not getting out anytime soon. Further down the grid, we look, Larry Perkins, that was the number 33 Ferrari. And then the rest of them. My goodness gracious me, what a turnout here tonight, Prince, as we keep going down the field. That's a very sprightly looking livery there, I must admit. And then it's the Russian who had to get his flag custom made. That's right, that's how popular Russia is in the world of online sim racing at the moment. But we get down the back, not to forget about these guys. And we seem to have fallen through the earth. And now we are back on solid ground as we get ready to go racing here. Prince, your predictions? I know it's a tough one. Oh my goodness, we've got a short formation lap and then we're underway.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a short formation lap, and I just want to quickly remind you guys, here is your championship standings after round 2. So Mr. Sinekis holding off Matthew Spinazzi, not by much though, and Mr. Maloney and Jeremy Zeri not far behind either, as we're just getting this one underway.
We are about to go racing, ladies and gentlemen. 45 minutes of the most famous racetrack you can imagine. It is time for round 3 of this championship, and we are very, very excited to get this one underway. You can see the drivers there. 27 drivers here ready to go racing. None of this long formation lap business. We're almost ready. I hope you're ready too at home.
Green light, go, go, go.
Green light. We've got a drive-through penalty already, but it is Spinazzi, our pole position man, getting the jump on Kebab through Eau Rouge for the first time and down the Camel Straight. Johnny Sinekis, the South African, is also amongst it, as well as it looks like everyone's got away cleanly. There could be trouble at the back, Prince.
Yeah, it looked like something happened just at the top of Eau Rouge there, and a couple of cars had to scatter, so a little bit unfortunate on that one, but the battle is still going on at the front.
As Stel Ragus, damn, everyone's so quick. Absolute carnage, says Ricardo. Save those points. By the way, we are not doing the points thing as we continue on lap 1. Yellow flags are out, ladies and gentlemen, but I think that might be gone. That might have gone green now. We've got Taz in the pits for some reason down there, but we're going to keep pushing it through here. And here we have it. So there we have it on your screen. It is Spinazzi leading. And we've got Rob Maddox there on your screen in a very intense battle down there in P11 as we get into the chopper cam here, ladies and gentlemen, around lap 1. Very hectic at the moment. Where do you look? It was so close in qualifying, but we can see our top 2 already checking out at the front as we take a look at the 666. Here we go. Here's Michael Babb. And he is putting all sorts of pressure on our race leader. The Spinazzi holding strong though here at the moment, Prince.
Yeah, Spinazzi holding on only just. I did hear briefly during the first session of the practice, he was saying the car wasn't as quick as what he was hoping. So, you know, he managed to put it up on the front row of the grid. So let's see if he can hold off from the Ferrari.
And look at this on board inside the cockpit and inside the helmet of the Michael Babb car. The 666 Ferrari there, and it is so close as we complete lap 1, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. There is our race leader right behind him, Michael Babb. And you can see the rear spoiler cam as I think that might be Lee Perkins, who has a drive-through penalty, not to be confused with Larry Perkins, the great Australian motorsport legend. And he's got 2 laps remaining to serve that penalty as we see Siciliano also in the pits. So a little bit of pit stop action early, as Taz saying yellow car basically parked at the top, and he had to dodge him, and it has ruined his race. As we see our leaders continue to battle, fastest lap for Spinazzi this time around, and we're only on lap 1 of this race so far. Babb in second still, and wow, it is so tight at the top. Battles absolutely everywhere, and we've got some pit stop action. We've got Bradley coming in with some damage, so too Cricks, Siciliano, and I think Taz might be out of the race as well, Prince.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that a couple of drivers got involved in that early incident, and, you know, we kind of caught the tail end of that, so, yeah, I'm a little bit unsure. Maybe we need to go back and have a look a little bit later on.
As we take a look at this race, it's going to be an absolute cracker, that's for sure. Let's keep those comments coming in. Big stack at Blanchimont, as Ricardo says, absolute carnage, and Abdul saying a big stack at Blanchimont there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they can recover. Here's Nicholas Macbeth in the 555 Mercedes, and he is just inside that top 10. And what is the plan if you're out there, Prince, you're behind the wheel doing your Nigerian darndest in this race? What is the plan early on? Is it to settle into a rhythm and try and stay out of trouble in the early laps of this race?
Yeah, so we've got a 20-minute pit window for this one. You know, we kind of opt away from the pit window just in case early incidents happen. That way drivers can still come in, get their mandatory stop done and continue on. But we opted for a 20-minute window for this one just to give it a test and see how these lads like it. And it's getting close here to the bus stop though.
It is getting very spicy at through this part of the circuit. You can see cars side by side. Chris Murphy, not Cillian Murphy, in the number 8, in P8 I should say. Murphy there in a beautiful black looking McLaren there, nice and simple inside the cockpit. I think he's going down the inside. He's making a move here. And this man who is there for the memes, this is so close, side by side up through Eau Rouge. Who is going to win out? I think he's got it. I think it's Keck has maintained that position on this occasion, as we've got a yellow flag out somewhere for something. I think Viney might be in some trouble. But look at this battle down the Kemmel Straight. This is showing no signs of letting up, Prince.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not letting up. And, you know, likewise, there's this battle going on up the front with these guys.
And that, was because Keck there having a bit of a moment, as now we look at the 159 car of Glow. And look how you cannot get closer than that, Prince. You can't even put a kebab paper between the two of them. You know that little foil stuff you get with your kebab? You can't even put that between them. That is how close it is, heading down the hill to the Gooch Puon corner.
Yeah, these guys are so close, and, you know, they're in as equal machinery as each other, but they're running completely different setups. So looking forward to seeing how these guys unfold. But Mr. Maloney, though, currently the purple lap of the race.
And Maloney with the fastest lap. And you can see right behind Matthew Glow. I think it's Matthew Glow. We are going to go with that, but this is so tight. Like we said at the top of our show, one compulsory pit stop for tyres. Those are the rules set by the Nigerian Prince himself. And like the Prince mentioned not too long ago, a 20-minute pit window. Zoom, 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 zoom. Look how close they are heading around to the bus stop chicane once again. And you can see how close it is on board now with Macbeth. And this is so tight. Oh, Maloney's making some moves as well. But we'll get back to that in a moment. Macbeth there through the bus stop chicane, just trying to get some space here at the moment. Prince, is the most difficult part in the early part of this race.
Yeah, it's so hard to get room around Spa, and especially when you consider the tow and the advantages. We see a move down the inside here.
Oh, this is getting spicy. How do you say that name, Prince?
Jeremy Zeri.
Jeremy Zeri. And it's Jezza Zeri there, side by side once again, lap after lap. Oh, you do not want to put your nose in there. But he has, and up the hill they go. Look at this. It's Jay Zeri, side by side here.
Oh, here we go.
This is going to get worse before it gets better. As we take a look down the inside, oh, that's going to take a big set of cojones, and I think that might have come off there. We've got Zeri, Macbeth, and I think he's got the job done there on this occasion.
Yeah, managed to get the move done there, which was an absolute great move. So they did lose a little bit of time to Mr. Murphy just in front of them, but nonetheless, they're not too far behind.
And you can see now, look at this, battles wherever you want to look. As we jump into the chopper and look at this man. And battles right throughout the field here. This race not all about what's happening at the front, but speaking about what is happening at the front, Johnny Sinekis, the South African Johnny Sinekis, who I've been reliably informed does not talk like that, Prince, but he has got a front row seat to this battle in the top two.
Yeah, he's always been on the money. He's a quick peddler, so I'm looking forward to seeing how we can go in the later stages here with the Audi, but you know, his pace at the moment, right on the money with the guys at the head of the field.
And I'll give you $100, ladies and gentlemen, if you can tell me the capital of Nigeria, because where else would you want to be on a Tuesday night here? And here we've got some Rob Maddox action, and he's just outside the top 10. Speaking of having front row seats to good battles, he's one of these men who is going to definitely be seeing plenty of action in front of him. And don't be shy out there. Get your comments coming in. We're not going to steal any bank details here. But please let us know where you're watching from. And good gracious Mavis, Prince, I just wish my voice would return at some point. But this is round 3 of this championship. And my goodness, action every single where you look, Prince. I can't see any places on the circuit without action at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like the first few rounds of this series, it's been so hard to find where to watch. And, you know, these guys just, there's battles galore, whether you're at the front, the middle, the back pack. There always just seems to be clusters.
As you can see now, fastest lap for M Glow with a 2:17.715. We see them get close to those qualifying times very quickly, don't we, Prince? It doesn't take long for the track to rubber in. As you can see, 18 degrees track temperature, 18 degrees ambient temperature. As we just tick under 35 minutes remaining in this one. Optimum track conditions, no real wind to speak of, and no real weather to speak of either, Prince. I don't think we're going to see too much moisture here on this Spa circuit before the end of the race.
Yeah, I don't think so. The wind is kind of picking up. It's about 5 kilometers an hour at the moment, but you know, nice cloudy conditions. We've got 2 times multiplier here, so you never know. There might be a little bit of rain on the horizon at the end of this one, but don't hold it.
Don't hold your breath waiting for that. As down in P17 there is Tom McDonald. Like we keep saying, battles everywhere you look. And he is right behind Icarus in the 222 Ferrari there. We've got 3 Ferraris in a row, I think there, Prince. We've got 16th, 17th and 18th all doing a battle here. As you can see there, still out front. We've got our leaders here riding on board now. And look how tight it is. What is the pressure like there? What is Matthew Spinazzi feeling inside the cockpit of that car, Prince? Just trying to keep ahead as we've got a move here, if you don't mind. Almost a move there. Prince not quite getting the job done there on that occasion. I think it was Herod down there outside the top 10, that move taking place. Oh, a bit of contact there for the triple. Oh, and somebody's in the wall. Oh, is it Boxall? No, who is it that's gone into the wall there, Prince?
Mr. McDonald, unfortunately.
And McDonald's, he's not going to be loving it at the moment. Little McDonald's pun there, but the yellow flags are out. As, oh, that's interesting. Up Eau Rouge, if you don't mind. And that is the 450 car of Herod there. Wow, unbelievable. Let's just recap, ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us. 5 laps gone here in this race tonight. It is how many laps we can get in, of course, within the next 32 minutes. And this battle at the front, it's going to be interesting as we get towards or get closer to the pit window, isn't it, Prince, to see what these lead drivers are going to be doing in terms of pit strategy.
Yeah, exactly. So pit window, as you were just mentioning, that pit window literally just opened. Perfect
timing. Unbelievable. So interesting, Prince. When are we going to see these guys come in?
So it depends on whether you want to try and go for an undercut or not, but I think the early stages of this one, I think you'd probably be running this towards the end of the pit window, but you don't want to leave it too late because it is a long lap.
It is a long lap around here. The pit window is open, ladies and gentlemen, for the next 20 minutes. As I think there's a yellow flag out there for the Russian. I'm not sure what happened, but Busyitsky seems to have some damage on the front of his car, and he probably doesn't even talk like that. Or he might do, but he's down in P17, so we'll keep an eye on that. But this is where it's at as we go inside the car. And look, oh no! And there's contact there between Spinazzi and Bab. A little bit too ambitious there through the bus stop chicane, Prince, and it's ended in tears.
Yeah, just sadly couldn't get it stopped on time, went a little bit too deep, but thankfully those guys are still in the run-in. They didn't lose too much time, but it has brought other people into contention now. And
it's brought the likes of Glow, Conboy, Maloney as well. He's been a bit of a quiet achiever as we take a look at Matt Glow there in the 159 McLaren. And this has brought them right back into play now, hasn't it, Prince? They were sort of having their own little private battle here. Oh, hello. I think we've got Sinekis. Here we go. Here comes the South African Johnny Sinekis. This is for the race lead. And he gets the move done. Swoops in front of Spinazzi. And somebody's spinning there at the back. I think it might be Bab again. So did he get some damage from that incident at the bus stop on the final lap?
It almost looked like, oh yeah, probably had a little bit of damage from that brief incident, but I think he got a little bit loose there. He did the right thing by waiting. Not the most ideal position to be in, but he did the right thing nonetheless.
And Assetto Corsa there giving us the sandblasted damage effect on the side of that car. But this man up into P6 at the moment. He's doing very nice here, Mr. Maloney.
Yeah, Mr. Maloney's doing quite well, actually. You know, he's slowly clawing his way back in. He's not too far behind Mr. Convoy, so a majority of these guys at the front are either doing 17s or 18s, so the pace is hot right now.
It is very, very hot here, ladies and gentlemen. 6 laps having been completed, and still plenty more action inside. 30 minutes remaining in this race, and also 17 minutes for the pit window as well, ladies and gentlemen, as there's Maddox inside the top 10, right up behind Jerry Zeri. And here he comes around the final part of the lap. We're back with Matt Glow now, is currently in P3, and just, I don't want to say it's put our man Spinazzi, Matthew Spinazzi, off his game at all, but since Johnny Sinekis has jumped into the lead, that gap now 1.4 as we see some pit lane action. Spinazzi in the pits, and he's got a couple of mates coming in with him here, Nigerian Prince.
Yeah, so a couple of people opting to come in early. So whether Matthew's kind of thinking I've got the pace, but it might be better just to get the damage repaired. It's going to be one of those tales that will be told at the end of this one.
We will wait and see how it pans out. And if you're wondering why I sound so husky and so dusky, that is because I have been sick throughout the course of the week. Hello, what have we got happening here between the AlphaTauri and it looks like Herod there in the Mercedes? Oh, that's going to be spicy. What a move, if you don't mind. Not sure whether much of the track was involved there, Prince, but still looked impressive on the broadcast nonetheless.
Yeah, a little bit of track limits used there, so they'd definitely be getting a warning for that one. And, Spa's one of those tracks. You want to try and keep your track warnings because coming into pit lane is not the most ideal, as we've got a bit of an incident here.
And there's an incident. There's a couple of drivers involved. We're going to have a look at the replay here, ladies and gentlemen. And 3's not going to go into there. In fact, we've got a little bit of rear contact. And it just breaks that inertia, doesn't it? It doesn't take much to spin in these cars either, does it, Prince? Once you start there, and was that Bab? Was that Bab on facing the wrong way? What on earth has happened there? And he has done an almighty mischief there. There's tremendous amounts of damage to that car.
Yeah, so a little bit unfortunate there. We caught the start of the incident, but it looks like maybe a little bit more kicked on just after. So, yeah, we'll have to be taking a bit of a look at the end of this one.
As now we've got Johnny Sinekis, who's checked out at the front, the South African, and really shouldn't keep talking like that. Don't want to offend him at all. But one of only one South Africans in the field tonight. And I think the rest are made up of Russians or Australians. And there might even be a couple of Kiwi drivers in there. We love our Kiwi drivers, Prince. Always happy to take on the Kiwis here as we look at Convoy at the moment. He's had a good race, Prince. Just sitting pretty there in third, biding his time, and he's slowly coming into contention here.
Yeah, so slowly biding the time and, he's slowly clawing his way up the field. So we did see a couple of drivers opting to take their early pit stops, with the pit window. So I'm looking forward to seeing where Mr. Spinazzi ends up coming out in all of this.
And Ricardo Probs broke too late on entry. Thank you, Ricardo. And there was word coming in that I was neglecting my chat. And that is not something that I'm proud of, ladies and gentlemen. But keep those comments coming in, and I won't neglect you any more because those days are over. As we take a look at Murphy up in P5 now, and he's only what is he, half a second off of Keck, our man there in the McLaren, McLaren. I think it might be the Aston Martin, I should say. Beg your pardon, but there's a little bit of a gap there, half a second, to this man who's simply here for memes. There he is on your screen at the moment. And it is very strange there. His livery is not showing up on my screen, Prince, the meme livery, but there we have it. It is definitely him. It is Chris Keck, the man who's here to have a good chuckle at the memes. Beautiful looking camera angles on this game as well. Running a little bit wide there, but still no harm done. He is under some pressure here, though, from Murphy, as we ride on board with this man at the moment. He's slowly catching him, ever so slowly here. And where has this race gone, Prince? Less than 25 minutes to go now. And we're not seeing a lot of pit lane action, are we? Despite only 12 minutes still remaining in the pit window.
Yeah, so they've got a couple of laps leeway at the moment. So I've got a feeling a few of these drivers up the front might be just saving it until the right time, as Mr. Spinazzi, the man who was up the front, you can see he's still in the front of the pit stops. So I'm looking forward to seeing where Mr. Sinekis and Mr. Glow end up coming out in all of this.
And it's going to be interesting to see Spinazzi there on your screen down in 15th. We'll get back to him in a moment as we ride on board with Jamie Convoy in the 117 McLaren there up through Eau Rouge. Beautiful view inside that car. And what are the track limits like there, Prince? We see some drivers just extending there. Is it very strict up as we head up Eau Rouge?
Yeah, so the run up Eau Rouge can be quite strict, depending on if you do lift off. If you get closest to the barrier, then you're gonna be definitely getting a track warning. But you know, if you're closer, obviously, to the inside of the track on the curvature, you're less likely to get that track warning. But 100% guaranteed, a lot of these drivers would be having a track warning on their belt right now.
Now 23 minutes remaining in this race, just 10 remaining in the pit window. And I can hear you all out there asking, when are these drivers coming into the pits? Wilco is back. Big hello to Jason Wilkinson. We've got Ricardo in there, Abdul as well, who didn't have a great time leading into this race here tonight. He couldn't get that set up right as we ride on board with Murphy now. Top 5 for him, only half a second. That gap is steady to the meme man in 4th. And you can see there, 22 minutes remaining, round 3 of this championship. It is a charity month, Prince. Charity month, August 2023. It's going absolutely off, and plenty of sim racing action. And of course, don't forget to jump across and give yourself a shout out, Prince, if you haven't got too much on, because you've hit the 250 follower mark as we take a look on board with Jamie Conboy. Halfway into the race, and it's not over yet. Never a truer word spoken, Prince, with half the race still to go.
Yeah, exactly. Not long to go now. So, you know, the pit window as well is closing in rapidly. So, you know, as we start seeing some of these drivers come in, so, you know, they hit the halfway point and they're like, pit lane is where to be.
Oh, Conboy.
That was close.
And I think that might be Glow and Conboy. Very name a more iconic duo. Look how close they are coming into the pits. They are not giving. They are bumper to bumper, of course. It is the longer pit lane too, isn't it, Prince? Here, of course, at Spa tonight. Yeah,
so we use the F1 pit lane, I believe it is. You know, you'll exit on the run up Eau Rouge. So, you know, it's a long pit lane. It's a lot of time to be in pit lane. It's basically half a lap. So, you know, you don't want to be spending more time than what you want to be spending here.
And these two in a procession. We'll get back to that in just a few moments. Looking down the field as we ride on board with Larry Perkins there in the 33 Ferrari. Beautiful looking car. And Ferraris are always cars that are very close to your heart. So we know that, Nigerian Prince, as we can see here. Now with Mike Crick, not to be confused with the Aston Martin team principal, Mike Crack, as a 20 for him. How have you seen his race here tonight? Haven't called his name too much, but he's absorbing a lot of pressure there from Larry Perkins in P21.
Yeah, so Mr. Crick is actually doing pretty good himself. He is, I believe, our leading AM driver in our championship at the moment. So he'd be looking to secure himself some points and boosting himself up a little bit higher. And you can see there, Maddox up to 4th. Talk about a quiet achiever, Nigerian Prince. He's just been slowly working his way through the field here tonight. And currently he's in P4 at the moment. And you can see the drivers who have made their pit stops indicated by the green next to their name, or number I should say, on the leaderboard on the left-hand corner of your screen. And Glow, Conboy, Murphy and Macbeth have made pit stops. Spinazzi, Maloney as well. And then it's Muriel's Wedding down there. And then it's the Russian Biznitsky. And then Viney and Perkins. And we've still got, what do we got? The top 8. You can see led by Johnny Sinekis as we take a look at Conboy at the moment, and they come in together, and it looks like they've gone out together, Prince. Yeah, exactly. So these guys got perfect stops. They do jump Matthew Spinazzi, though. So Matthew Spinazzi did lose a little bit of time coming in early. And that is our race winner from last week, of course, Matthew Spinazzi, who won at Imola at the Autodromo Enzo Dino Ferrario, and then it was Jerry Zeri who was in second, and Johnny Sinekis, of course, finished 3rd last week, but he is on for a win as we see our meme man
into the pits there. Maddox will now go up into second position as we take a look at some of the battles continuing right the way throughout the field. Maloney outside the top 10. He's not going to be too happy with this result. He had some pace, didn't he, in round one of this championship, Prince, but he's currently outside the top 10.
Yeah, so we still do have a couple of drivers to pit, so we've got 4 currently in and 4 still yet to come through pit lane, so he might still squeeze himself into the top 10. It's not quite over yet, but he is putting a bit of pressure on Mr. Spinazzi here as he gets a move done.
Well, he's not just putting pressure on Mr. Spinazzi, he's done more than that. He's gone through. So where has the space gone, the pace? I'm not saying he's gone into space, but where has that pace gone for Spinazzi? He hasn't been very comfortable, Spinazzi, in that car, has he, Prince, since that little incident we saw at the bus stop?
Yeah, so I'm kind of wondering whether he's opted not to take the damage. It might not be enough for him to, you know, oh, that's a bit of a moment going through our Rouge. So, you know, as you see there, he does seem to be losing a little bit of time with the car, trying to kill him. Typical Porsche things.
And that is terrible there. We have not quite witnessed a murder, but this man is purely here for the memes, as there's a car going slowly there. I think it might be just some traffic, Prince. I think nothing to worry about, getting out of the way. As you can see there, calling it a night. Catch you all. And look at this, Woody Lizard. Woody Lizard says, I'm feeling like a long-lost stalker, Prince. Tuning into kit buyers on PS5 Project Car 2 days, and now on the PC with Shakedown. He says, good work, buddy. Save those coins, by the way, Woody Lizard. And I'm sure that Woody Lizard is following the channel, as Abdul is calling it a night as well. But big hello to Woody Lizard. Wow, it's like an old stalker coming back to haunt me again, Prince.
I actually reminisce with those old Project Cars 2 days, because I believe I signed up to KRL when you guys moved over to Project Cars 2, so a bit of nostalgia vibes.
Wow, that is a throwback and a half. Keep those comments coming in. And Abdul, good night to you, my friend. He is calling it a night. And that man did not seem happy from ball one here tonight, did he? As we take a look inside the top 10 now. And Chris, the man who's just here for the memes, and how good is it? He is currently in P9 at the moment. Right up behind Spinazzi, and Maloney has just jumped ahead, hasn't he? Further afield there, you can see he has he's got past Spinazzi. Like you said, Prince, he may have elected not to take the damage. Hello, what have we got happening here? These two are inseparable at the moment, Prince. They're still going hammer and tongs.
Yeah, these guys are going right at it, you know. Mr. Maloney, oh, he's got the pace, but Jamie Convoy, though, can he get past Mr. Glow?
Let's have a look. And Jamie there, getting very, very close now. Down the Camel Straight. He's poked his nose out as he just teasing him at the moment, Prince. Trying to get him to make a mistake. But he's far too good for that, as some traffic getting out of the way there. And Maddox in P10 at the moment as we head back to the sharp end of the field. How close is this? And Johnny Sinekis winning out after that round of pit stops, as the pit window has almost closed. We've got a couple of minutes to go, Prince, but I think everyone's made their stops.
Yes, everyone's made their stops well clear of the pit window, so that's good to see. It is a very long lap, so last thing you want to be doing is, you know, leaving it until crunch time, because if you make a small mistake, unfortunately, you do get slapped with a penalty for missing the pit window.
Less than 15 minutes to go. 12 laps have gone in this race, ladies and gentlemen. Do not go anywhere, because there is the AlphaTauri black car down there in 14th. And these two, that might be some traffic, in fact, I think there for the number 14. No, this is for position. Look at this. As we work our way down to the Gooch, they are side by side. And these two have been close all night, Prince, and they're still going at it.
Yeah, these guys have been having a right old battle here. So Mr. Boreal is hopefully biding his time to get past, but you know, Mr. Icarus, I believe his name's Mr. Emmanuel actually. I kind of butchered the entry list on this one, not sure what I did. So some things are a little bit broken, but nonetheless though, these guys are going hammer and tong.
And good looking livery, says Ricardo from the Netherlands. Big thank you, our latest follower on the channel. Part of the family now, Prince, joining a very illustrious group. And look at this battle continuing. I think he might be lining him up here to have another go to the bus stop. We'll wait and see. As we tick over to 9:10 p.m. local time, it looks like the sun doesn't set in Belgium, Prince, because it's still very light out there at the moment. Through the bus stop, not quite as close this time around, and he can't quite get that job done. But 13 minutes remaining. What are your thoughts, Prince? A penny for your Nigerian thoughts, because we've got some incredible battles and still plenty to play out here in the next 12 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, as you're talking about plenty playing out here, Mr. Cooley does get past Mr. Spinazzi. So it's getting quite tense here. Mr. Spinazzi, unfortunately, dropping down. He's been a clear race winner. And, you know, he's shown us he's got the pace this season. And unfortunately for Spa, it just seems that something's gone a little bit wrong the last minute with the setup.
And you can see there, as the pit window, race control just confirming that the pit window is now closed. So we saw drivers caught out, didn't we, in the early rounds of the season, but still everyone's made their pit stop. And Spinazzi seeming to struggle now, says Ricardo. He wants to know, Prince, could those tyres be dead? We suspect that it could be some damage as well, but those tyres could be potentially absolutely cooked as well for Spinazzi.
Yeah, quite possibly. So we'll just jump on board with him. Tonight was a mandatory tyre stop. So obviously Spinazzi opting to come in a little bit earlier. And the Porsche tends to have this window where it likes to switch on and then switch off and then switch back on again. So he might be in that tough phase at the moment where the tyres quite aren't where they need to be.
13 laps gone, 11.5 minutes remaining in this one. Spinazzi there on your screen, still down in P6. Putting pressure on our meme man, but look at this battle. First, second and third all together, and Jamie Conboy, who's currently in third, I think he might fancy second place as well. And where is he going to get this job done here? If he can get it done, because you can see that we've got second, third and fourth for the McLarens at the moment, and this is an incredible battle. Do not go anywhere. They're not giving anything away here tonight, are they, Prince? Every driver has to work for every single corner of every single lap here within the last 10 minutes of this race to hold their positions and not make a mistake under this pressure.
Yeah, not making a mistake is going to be the crucial part, as we do see Mr. Spinazzi losing out to Mr. Murphy as well there. So Jeremy Zeri did also move up to P8, overtaking Mr. Macbeth. So a couple of drivers making some moves in this closing 10 minutes.
And Spinazzi there losing out on that occasion. Fastest lap at the moment is a 2:16.872 to Jamie Conboy. Perfect timing there, because under pressure, under all sorts of pressure, in fact, is Matt Glow in the McLaren 720S. Oh, it is McLaren versus McLaren at the moment. I do not know where to look here, because wherever you look, there is not a lot of space. Is he just lining him up? Is he, Prince, trying to distract him at all, Matt? Can he, I know Matt's doing an awfully good job at the moment with, what do we got, 9.5 minutes left.
Yeah, so not long to go. Mr. Glow was holding some really good pace, and he still has been holding some really good pace. So I'm looking forward to seeing whether maybe this gap to Mr. Sneakers will close in. But nonetheless, though, P2, 3 and 4, gap's not much.
It is nothing. There is absolutely nothing in it, ladies and gentlemen. Senekis leads this race, 1.6 ahead. You can see him zoom. And there goes the South African through your screen, riding with Jamie Conboy now. And he is only half a second. He's dropped back a touch. Might be some dirty air or something. As he just drops back a teensy piece as Macbeth now. Still inside the top 10. And we're inside the car now. Nicholas Macbeth in the 555 Mercedes. Only one of 4 in the field tonight. And what a turnout. We had 24 drivers. Still got 24 listed here. I know that down the field we've lost a couple, but Ricardo saying Jamie needs to stay patient and line the car up at La Source so we can have a good run out of La Source onto the Camel Straight. That's going to be an interesting move if he can get it done. But look at this man. We're seeing a master at work here, Prince, as we're looking at Jamie Conboy. Very minimal wheel inputs there, you can see. As we come through to the corner with no name, he's lining him up. Where's his best chance to get this done, Prince?
Oh, I think Mr. Glow seems to have quite a bit of pace here tonight, which is good to see, actually. And just while we're touching on that, let's take a quick look at the championship boards before they shuffle after tonight.
As yes, the championship boards, Prince, I might get you to read those out because it's going to be very tight after this round 3 race here tonight, isn't it, for the championship going forward?
Yes, absolutely. So we got Mr. Sneakers. He's going to be building his lead provisionally at the moment in P1. Mr. Spinazzi, unfortunately, isn't going to be closing that gap. But Mr. Maloney, though, might end up throwing himself up into the second row there. But yeah, it's all to play for, as you can see right the way through the grid. You know, the points are so close. So I'm just looking forward to seeing how this all starts shaping up at the end of tonight.
And it's going to be very interesting indeed. Round 3 of this championship. Only 6 rounds, of course. Nigerian Prince, as we take a look at Conboy there. I think he's just sticking his nose out there, reminding Matt Glow that he's still there as they come across the line. And all of this is letting Johnny Sinekis, the South African, maintain a 2-second lead at the front. So it's very interesting to see this battle as it continues. Is this going to be the lap with 6.5 minutes to go as the car, I think it might be the Russian who's cleared his drive-through penalty, as Brock also with a drive-through penalty. They're down in 15th. As we see here, he's getting very close, Prince. He's got a bit of slipstream here. Can he do something with this?
Well, I think he might end up just staying behind here, as he does make intentions known, tries to make himself wide in the mirror. Almost misses his braking marker trying to do so, but he's trying to do everything he can to put Mr. Glow off to take that second podium position.
And he's just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. I shouldn't sing with the way my voice is at the moment, but this man had a drive-through penalty, Greg Brock, and down there in 15th at the moment, and still very close, isn't it? That's going to be disappointing for young... Oh my goodness me. I just need a change of trousers there, Prince, because he was flirting with that left-hand side tyre barrier up by Rouge, and that is not where you want to be.
Yeah, I want to take an interior view of this one.
Oh, that is so close. From straight, almost heading straight towards the scene of the accident. As we've got a woody lizard, just almost fell through the shadow realm there for a second, Prince, but a big moment there, says Woody Lizard. Get your comments coming in, ladies and gentlemen, for driver of the day. If you dare, as Ricardo says, cars are not designed to mow the grass, but I tell you what, we are about to witness a huge battle. It's going to be huge, absolutely huge. And there's no fake news here, as Conboy down the outside, almost getting a move done there. He can't quite get it done, but it's going to set him up here onto the start and finish straight. My voice is up the shizen with 4.5 minutes left, but I'm not going anywhere, and neither is my voice box, Prince, with a tick over 4 minutes to go. Wider line there from Conboy, and that's going to give him a great exit as we head up the hill to Eau Rouge.
Yeah, exactly. Another run up Eau Rouge this time. Let's hope it's a nice, clean one. Hopefully he doesn't get a track warning, because I've got a feeling a lot of these drivers are creeping close to their third warning. We do have a couple of drivers who have hit it for their third. and they've unfortunately got to do drive-through. He did lift off there, which makes me think he is on his final warning, Trev.
And he's being a little bit cautious there. As you can see, right throughout the field, Seneca's still up ahead there. There's a bit of traffic further afield there, but this is the battle. This is where it's at for the final podium position. And I think it might be the closest battle on the track as well, Prince. Indeed it is, because it's just with just 3.5 minutes to go. So probably this lap and maybe another. It's getting tight. Very tight indeed between the two McLarens. I was about to say Senecas is checking out a little bit at the front, but it's still only 2 seconds. We'll keep an eye on that as well. And zoom, zoom. And don't forget about Tom Maloney either down there in P4. He's only 1.6 off of this battle, Prince. So if anything strange happens, he's there to take the biscuits and run off with those biscuits if anything should happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably the prime position to be in, actually, because like I was just touching on, I got a feeling, you know, we saw Jamie lifting off at the top of Ratty on there, so I got a feeling he is on his final track warning, and if you do get that final track warning, like you're saying, Mr. Maloney is there to pick up the scraps and take the podium. And
don't forget about Mr. Maloney, as it looks like Viney, I think there, who's well down the field. I think he's in P18. And Woody Lizard has jumped in and said Senecas is looking solid up front, but from what I've been watching, Glow has been the driver of the day, defending against Convoy, who looks a little bit faster. Very interesting indeed, and certainly some fantastic defensive driving from this man in P2 at the moment. Has he got one more? I think, no, this is going to be the penultimate lap of the race, Prince, coming up.
Yeah, I've got a feeling we're on the penultimate lap here as Mr. Sneakers, though. He's been continually building this gap, so he'll be chuffed with this one. He'll be walking away with a win, I think.
And that's right, Woody Lizard out there, long-time viewer from the Project Cars 2 days. They were great days, weren't they? 2017, 2018 era. As now we're on board with our race leader, who is on his penultimate lap. In fact, he might be on the last lap, as we've got another drive-through penalty there for Icarus, who is running by another name we hear. Oh, hello. And a bit of action there. Was that a bit of Spinazzi action down the Kemmel Straight on the final lap?
Yeah, so Mr. Zeri and Mr. Spinazzi, they're actually really good friends, so they'd probably be in a call together. I mean, that wouldn't change anything. Scraps are still scraps, so these guys, I'm looking forward to seeing how they scrap it out towards the end of this one.
Oh, a little bit of a moment there. As you can see, right behind this car, Jerry Zeri, who finished on the podium P2 last week in Imola, Prince. So is he going to be disappointed with P7 here tonight, although we've still got a little bit to play out?
Yeah, still a long ways to go. So not only are people fighting it out for the championship, but our sponsors lined up for the GamerGearDirect LifeLine Sprint Series. We've got 2 Moza R5 wheelbases up for offer. So, you know, not only are they fighting it out for championship standings and, you know, bragging rights, but they're also fighting it out for their take of a Moza R5 wheelbase.
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? With thanks to our beautiful sponsors and the gorgeous people out there. Wheelbases, Prince. Absolutely fantastic. So plenty to play for here. Towards the end of this race, the time is counting down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Is he going to go? Oh, I think our race winner is across the line. It's going to be close.
Oh, one more lap.
Oh, he's going to go for a final lap. And he couldn't quite. What's the gap there, Prince? 3 seconds. I think that must have just been he must have just got the front of his car over that line in time.
Yeah, I literally think he went over the line just as it was ticking between 1 and 0. So one more lap to go, Trev. One more lap.
One more lap. One more time for Joshies. You'd hate to bottle it on this last lap. I know you said that to me last night during another stream. But you can see here the battle continues right throughout the field. Macbeth in P9, only 1.1 seconds off of the Spinoza as we come up Eau Rouge for the final time in this race. 9:38 p.m. local time. It's like we're being in some North Pole type country or something, Prince. The sun is still not quite setting here, ladies and gentlemen, but this battle continues. As Ricardo says, for me it's Keck for standing his ground against the OP Maccas. And Murphy having a moment there, I think. Prince, is he off the circuit?
Yeah, so it looks like he just grabbed a little bit of curvature there, and unfortunately it spun him around, so hopefully he doesn't lose too much time and he'll be able to get straight back into it.
Back into it, final lap of this race. Ladies and gentlemen, Murphy there back into it. Oh, there's something going on there. Through the corner with no name. And it's the final lap of this race. I'm not going to sing at all as we head down the Puong Gooch for the final time here. Looking at Macbeth up into P8. Only half a second off of that man ahead of him, Spinazzi. As we've got a yellow flag. And just after Eau Rouge there for something, and it's Boxall who is sideways there, and he's back into the pits, so no harm done there, Prince, as we're on the final lap of this race. It's getting very, very close to the end of this one. Still plenty to play for, battles right throughout the field. And Woody Lizard has subscribed at Tier 1. Wow, as we take a look, thank you very much to the Woody Lizard as we see our race winner, Johnny Sinekis, all the way from South Africa across the line to win round 3 of this championship. And that battle continues, but it is Glow in second, Conboy in third, Maloney in fourth. Good result for him. And then it's the man who is simply here for the memes in Keck. And that's Ricardo's driver of the day. These two getting very close. Maddox across the line in 10th, and Murphy as well. And I think my voice has almost gone to the Scheisenhausen. But thank you, Woody Lizard. I have been sick throughout the course of the week, so subscribing at Tier 1 will go a long way to helping my voice come back.
Yeah, exactly. We want your voice to come back nice and well. So these drivers are actually not too far away from all finishing off their race now. So Mr. Moriel coming through the last chicane here. He does have Mr. Partington not too far behind as he looks to try and make a move. Fortunately, it's not going to be enough. So these guys, nonetheless though, great race.
Great racing there. Muriel's wedding in the AlphaTauri black comes across the line. Here's a man on your screen. And this man got in a little bit of trouble there with the stewards, but he's down in P13. Still running at the moment there in P13. I'm going to have to look into these liveries, Prince, because they're not matching up on the from what I'm seeing. But Brock just behind him. And I think they might be a lap down, so which means they might be classified 12th and 13th respectively. As you deserve it, mate. Top work, he says. Thank you to Woody Lizard and to the Shakedown League. Are lucky to have you on the microphone. They might not be saying that tonight, though. I'm that excited, Woody Lizard. I'm going to stand up and give the chance for the vocal cords and the voice to extend itself. If you know what I'm trying to talk about, Woody Lizard and Prince. But across the line, here we go. In P12 there in the end, I think it was. As I think we might have our top 3 joining us. In fact, we've got our race winner already here for a chat tonight here in round 3 of this championship. And wow, thank you, Woody Lizard, mate. Thank you for the kind comments, and thank you for tuning in. As Prince, I think we're just about ready to get the post-race interviews underway.
Yeah, so absolutely killer racing tonight. Plenty of battles, a little bit of carnage along the way, but you know, that's a bit of spa for Uncle Shumps. But Trev, I'll let you take away these commentary.
Go, go, go.
Thank you very much. He blames the commentator's curse. Thank you, Sel Ragus. I might get that name right before the end of the year, but we go to our race winner, Johnny Sinekis. Have you got us there?
I've got you, mate. How's it going?
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for joining us, mate. Talk us through that race tonight. You were out front and you didn't put a foot wrong there, mate. You took the lead and managed to take victory tonight. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, mate, I think, look, we maybe weren't quite there on outright pace. And I just felt like just sitting behind the front 2, let them battle because I just didn't have the straight line speed. And unfortunately they got together, so that gave me a little bit of breathing room, and then it was just about running consistent laps, right? Like that's all you can do. So yeah, worked out quite well. I was a bit scared with the 3 McLarens chasing me down, but you know, luckily we made it work in the end.
And good result too tonight, mate. I think P3 last week at Imola. So your championship chances, it's done you no harm here tonight, mate. A good way to set yourself up for the next half of this very short season.
No, for sure. I mean, like championships that, like Matthew's shown, all you just need to finish as high as you can all the time. Take the wins when they're available. But that was the sweatiest race I've ever had in Shakedown. There's a lot of fast boys now, and I think you can see by the times everybody was running 16s at the end there, race pace. So definitely not a slow field. So I'll take this one.
Fantastic, mate. Thank you for putting on a magnificent show for us tonight, mate, here in the commentary box and on the stream. Congratulations on the win. It sets your championship fight up perfectly there, mate. And like you said, it was very tight at the top. But congratulations tonight, and we'll see you next week, of course, for the Super Sprint Round 4 at Laguna Seca. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for the coverage.
Great stuff, Johnny Sinekis there. What an absolute champion, and what a driver he is. Great to watch. Puts on a magnificent show. As I think we've got Jamie Conboy in the chat. He's entered the commentary box, the press room, whatever you want to call it. Jamie, have you got us there?
Hello, Trev. Hello, Cameron. Yes, I am here. And what a handsome driver that John Sinekis is as well. Goodness gracious.
Just absolutely fantastic. Trying to resist the urge to talk in that accent. I could listen to that all day. But seriously, Jamie, though, talk us through your race. What an epic battle with Matty Glow, of course, which kept us entertained up here in the commentary box for the final part of that race. Talk us through it from your perspective here tonight.
Oh, I'm glad you guys had fun with that, because it was certainly fun behind the wheel too. I didn't like the look of that back in McLaren in the second stint especially. I just couldn't quite find the straight line to get past him, and I guess we're running pretty similar setups. So we're both running low wing, low sort of high speed setups. And as John said, we probably do have a straight line advantage over the Audi, but he was too far clear that we couldn't get into his slipstream. And then he was just too consistent. He was too strong. I couldn't find anywhere past him. So yeah, hats off to Matty Glow. And but no, it was a super fun race. I didn't come into this one expecting a strong result. It's probably not my strongest track. But yeah, the McLaren being very strong here, and managed to pitch the purple lap too there. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the night.
And happy to bounce back, of course, after, I don't want to say a disappointing weekend last time.
Disappointing is exactly what it was, Trev.
Down there, P15, I think it might have been from memory at Imola. But, mate, congratulations, of course. Podium finish tonight. You couldn't quite pinch P2 off of Matty, mate, but P3, nonetheless, still a podium, and congratulations.
Very happy with that. Thanks, Trev. Thanks, Cameron.
Right.
Have a good night.
Great stuff. Jamie Conboy there. What a race we saw between him and Matty Glow. And don't mind the sound of that young man. He might have a career in the commentary box after his driving days are done. I'm not sure whether we've got Matty Glow at all, Prince, although we could do a quick translation, but I don't think we've got him here in the press room after the race.
No, unfortunately, we don't have Mr. Glow here. You know, we're not used to doing these commentary interviews in Shakedown, Trev. So it's one of those different dynamics that hopefully the boys start getting around over the course of the final rounds. But no, it's great to hear from Mr. Sneakers and oh god, my brain.
And I think we've
Mr.
got
Convoy,
Matt.
my apologies.
There we go. We've got Matt on the line. Matt, just a quick word. We know you're very sweaty after that race here tonight, but P6 last week in Imola, mate, you got to be happy finishing in the top two. Yes, I'm very happy with this result. It's something that I wasn't expecting coming into the weekend, but overall, I'm very happy to get inside the top two, and it really sets my championship up as we head to Laguna Seca next week. Thank you for that, Matt. That's a very strange sounding voice, but that's our top three drivers, would you believe, as we take a quick look at some of these highlights. And Prince, where do we begin to unpack all of that action in the 45 minutes?
Yeah, so this race though, it was an intense one. So there's going to be a lot to unpack, a lot to dissect, and I got a feeling there's hopefully not too many reports, but you know, if there is, we'll go through them when they come. But nonetheless, though, amazing night of racing here at Spa-Francorchamps for round 3 of the GamerGearDirect LifeLine Sprint Series, and you know, I look forward to seeing what these lads can do at Laguna Seca. We haven't been to Laguna Seca in quite a while, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
Loving this. As you can see there, Woody Lizard Next week, he says, I'm used to it, honestly, especially damage of the first few laps. Ha ha, Woody Lizard. And it could have been that translation machine that we like to bring out every now and again, which just sounds very generic and tends to repeat the same phrases as Woody Lizard now with a bit of a custom emoji there. Great to see you with that. Box this lap, box this lap. But we are done for round 3. Do not tell me, Prince, that 3 rounds of this championship have gone already.
Yeah, half the championship gone and half the championship still to go. So some spicy rounds coming up, Laguna Seca, Watkins Glen, and then we'll finish off with Kailami. But just before we head to Kailami, we have got the GamerGearDirect LifeLine 4 hours of Kailami with the PS5 Endurance Series, don't we, Trev?
Not 1 hour, not 2, not 3, but 4 hours, which is 1 less hour than 5 hours, but still 4 hours of action. And with thanks to LifeLine, that is going to be an absolutely fantastic. It could be the biggest event in the history of certainly my channel, but that is going to be absolutely fantastic and something we look forward to each and every year, Prince.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a big staple mark of what we do. And, you know, it's our 3rd annual charity month. And, you know, these lads, they love to get behind a good cause. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do come August or the end of August. The date is not quite in my brain.
And don't forget to make a donation to LifeLine as part of Charity Month. There's the link on your screen. It's been pinned at the top of the chat window. Like we said, next week, Laguna Seca, August 15th, we'll be live on air from 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 if you're in South Australia, and a little bit earlier than that, whatever the time shall be in WA. And further across, it's the Super Sprint Round 4 of the championship as Skarnen something Twitch. We've got a first-time chatter, Prince. Oh, they've missed so much action. Please go back onto the stream, if you wouldn't mind, and check out some of that action. And Skarnen Twitch, first-time chatter, please, Prince, give them the necessary instructions, step by step, on what they need to do.
If you haven't followed, please be sure to follow. And also, if you got an Amazon Prime, don't send Jeff Bezos to the moon. Send Trev to the moon. Be sure to use your Amazon Prime sub. It's free.
I'm heading to the moon. Who knows? We might even do a stream from up there. And we could be the first ones to land on the moon, depending on who you believe. But anyway, we don't want to get into those conspiracy theories here at the moment, because that has been a wrap. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Woody Lizard. Good stuff, guys. See you next week. The stalking lizard is back. He certainly is, and we won't quite get into the lizard people at the moment. But that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Do not forget that the charity month continues, of course, with plenty of action next week, and then obviously at Kailami at the end of the month. But it's the Super Sprint for round 4 of this championship next time around, August 15th, Tuesday, from 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Be kind to one another. That's all we've got time for. That's a wrap from us. We'll see you next time around. Bye for now.